Hey, it's good to see you guys. Today I'm reviewing the Kosas Skin Improving Foundation. This is their newest foundation to the Kosas line. It was just recently launched, and I will be doing a little bit of a wear test with it. It's kind of first impressions wear test in the newish category. So if you'd like to hear my thoughts on it, just go ahead and keep watching. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video, and turn on the notification bell for future videos like this one. Let me know down below which video you'd like to see next from me. Okay, let's get to the review. My goodness, it is so windy today. Today I'm reviewing the new Kosas Revealer Foundation. This I was actually pretty excited about when it launched. I've tried a couple of things from the brand before, like their face powder and also their concealer, and just like various eyebrow lip things. They have pretty much everything. So Kosas is a clean beauty brand and they're available on Sephora. They did come out with a foundation before. It was like a tinted face oil, which kind of had some mixed reviews, so I'm interested to see how their foundation ends up working out for me. So it looks like the foundation comes in 36 shades. Essentially what this one is it's claiming to be a natural finish skin improving foundation with SPF 25 and hyaluronic acid and also niacinamide. You know, all of the big keywords for skincare lovers: niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, and also SPF. So it sounds like it's going to be really good. This is just a first impression right now, so I won't have a fully formed thought, but I thought it'd be fun to just go ahead and try it on and give you a sneak peek of what it's looking like day one. So I went ahead and picked up the shade 160. This is light neutral olive. So I have kind of golden olive undertones. I'm not wearing anything right now besides just a moisturizer, and I just put that on early in the morning, so it shouldn't be an issue. My skin's like pretty normal right now. so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on. So this is what the bottle's looking like. I'll probably do another close-up. It looks like it's like a glass, or maybe like it looks like glass, but it's like a frosted thick plastic. It's really nice, and it looks really similar to their concealer. I went ahead and picked up another shade of their concealer while I was placing this order. They look really cute. The one thing I will say about the concealer, I love it. It's so good. It's just that it goes bad really, really quickly. So for me, I usually have to just like put all of my energy into this one concealer, and you really can't use it for much longer than maybe 6 months or so. So this is a clean beauty product, like I mentioned. It doesn't last super long, but it's really, really good while you have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this on. I also have, when I picked up this order, I don't know why I buy multiple concealers in one order. That's who I am. That's who I am as a person. So it is what it is. I also picked up the LYS Triple Fix New Concealer. This is a full coverage brightening concealer. I was really, really excited about this. I have some pretty dark discoloration underneath my eyes. I guess it's pretty normal. It's not discoloration. That's just what my face looks like. So I picked up the shade LN6. So basically just whatever color looks better for me right now is the one I'm going to go with. I am really interested in trying this out, but I'm just going to see how they compare once I get to that point. I'm applying my foundation with the Moda Pro Complexion Brush. It's basically my everyday foundation brush. So we can see that it has a little pump here. It's really cute. I believe that this is 1 fluid ounce of product, which is pretty typical, and it goes for $42 on Sephora. So right away, this is looking like a pretty good match for me right now. So this claims to be medium coverage, and I would definitely agree with that. You can see, like, compared to my other side, I have a ton of freckles, and this pretty much covers them up, but you can still kind of see them peeking through just a little bit, which is what I really like. Also, there's kind of a little bit of a fragrance with this. It seems like a light floral fragrance, which is really nice. I don't mind perfume in my foundation, but if you're scent aversive, just know that it's like really light and pretty mild. I think it's tolerable. Yeah, so far it's looking really pretty. I may try to rest this side of my face with a sponge just to see if I can play around with the coverage a little bit and get a little bit lighter coverage. So I'm just going to use my camo sponge from e.l.f. It's my favorite face sponge. It's super soft. So I'm just going to apply it to the sponge and then just dab it onto my face. I prefer using a brush personally, but I know some people that watch these reviews want to see how a sponge looks. If you're a sponge girl, this is for you. I've been having some allergy problems recently, so I'm not going to be super particular about the sides of my nose, mostly because they are super dry and damaged right now. So, you know, sometimes you just can't help that. Okay, I feel like that looks really good. Yeah, I think I'm liking the sponge side a little better. The coverage is just like about the same, honestly. The coverage is maybe a little bit more on this side, but you can hardly tell. I just think it looks more flawless on this side. On this side you can kind of see some harsh brush lines, and I think I'm just going to go over this side with my sponge just to kind of flatten it out a little bit, make it a little bit more even. I'm going to try adding a little bit more. So this is what it looks like with the sponge gone all over the face. This side was applied exclusively with the sponge, and this side I've kind of just evened it out a little bit. I'm really liking the shade match for me. It matches my skin right now perfectly. And I haven't put anything on my forehead yet, so I'm gonna go back over that. But overall, I think this is going to be a really great shade for spring right now. But it truly seems to be just like right in the middle. It's not like too dewy, not too matte. It's like literally just a natural finish and looks like skin. Something I really appreciate personally. So I'm going to try and build it up a little bit, like I said. I like having a foundation that can kind of just do whatever you're feeling. So like it can do light, it can do full, it can do medium, obviously. And I think this is gonna be, so far, I don't want to like jinx it, but so far it's looking really, really good. But so far it's looking nice. I will try and wear this for the rest of the day and see how it holds up, and then I'll check back in. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish doing my makeup. I need to check which shade of concealer I want to go with. If I want to go with LYS or Kosas. I feel like recently there's just been so many new complexion product releases, and it's kind of been hard to navigate like which one do I actually want to invest money in. I've heard really good things about like Charlotte Tilbury, the NARS, the Dior foundations. Let me know down below which one's your favorite so far of the new 2020 releases. This is really breaking my heart a little bit, but here's my swatches. So this one is the Kosas concealer. This is in the shade 03W, and then this one is the LYS concealer in the shade LN6. So the one LN6 looks like a little too pink for me, which is really kind of heartbreaking because the texture, it looks really, really nice. I already know I love the Kosas concealer, so I think I'm just going to go with that one just to be safe. I don't know. I want to play around with the LYS concealer and see if I can make it work, the shade. Because honestly, the way it's blending looks really good. I just blended it out on my hand. It's looking super soft, if you're wondering. That's just a little sneak peek of that, but we'll see. I think I'm going to go with the Kosas one. I'm a little sad. Okay. I haven't had this concealer in a really long time. It's been out of my collection for a little bit now, and I'm so excited to have a fresh one back. So far it's looking like it's working out really nicely with the foundation. No issues with weird layering or anything. Looks really, really good. So moving on, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and use some powder. Am I? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use the powder since I have it. I might as well. It's the Breezy powder from the Cloud Set collection from Kosas. I'm just gonna use a little Moda Pro brush to apply that underneath the eyes and then a little on top of the cheekbones. This is such a good powder, but she is dusty. I will say that. I think it's a little messy at times. But it looks almost invisible on the face, which is why I love it. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the Kosas eyebrow gel. This is the Airbrow, just a clear shade. And I'm gonna use some bronzer. I have the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Suntan. It's just like a good drugstore matte bronzer. Okay, and then for the rest of my collection, I'm using the Merit Cheek Color Cream Blush in the shade Cheeky. It's such a good pink. Like this is it. This is my new favorite obsession. I used the shade Terracotta in the fall and winter and it was so good, and now kind of just for like the spring, summer, this shade, it gives like the perfect like sun-kissed look. And like kind of, it's like in between like a sunburn kind of look if you're into that. Anyway, it's just like a really good like mid-tone pink. I'm going to use a little bit of the Kosas Lip Oil. I have the shade Unhooked. Again, a perfect shade. Like, this is one that I was really hesitant about buying because it just kind of seemed a little pricey, kind of for no reason. But the shade of this is so perfect. Beautiful. And then finally, I'm just going to do a little bit of eyeshadow. I'm probably just going to do like a eyeshadow eyeliner and then call it a day. I'm not really doing anything too fancy today. This is the, oh, by the way, this is Persona Identity Palette. It's kind of just like the newer-ish packaging. This is a staple. And then I'm just going to use a little Moda Pro BMX line brush for the eyeliner. I'm using the shade Fearless, if you were wondering. And then finally, I'm just going to use a little bit of mascara. This is the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara. It's their tubing mascara. So good, but I am really interested in trying the new Cali Ray tubing mascara. Let me know down below if you've tried that and what your thoughts are. If it's worth it. I'm very, very interested in it. I feel like I just have like such a huge wish list growing for the next Sephora VIP sale. Definitely that mascara is on there for sure, for sure. Okay, so I'm done with my makeup now. I am just gonna go ahead and go through the rest of my day. I'll check back in later today and let you know how it goes. Right now it's looking really, really good. I have decided that I definitely prefer the side with the sponge a little bit better than the side without the sponge with the brush. It just seems like you can really see like a lot more on the side with the brush. Like it looks a little like heavy on this side. So I would actually recommend with the sponge a little bit more right now. But yeah, I'll check in later. Okay, so I'm back. It's been a few hours at this point. It's kind of nearing the end of the day. I do film in natural lighting, so I'm just sitting in front of a big window. It's about 5 or 6 o'clock at this point. It's been on for several hours, and actually it looks like I just put it on. I don't know how it happened to do this, but it just looks like perfect still. I have been blowing my nose a little bit, so there is like some stuff rubbing off underneath my nose, but not too bad, honestly. It looks really, really good still. Lots of foundations I've noticed like really start to break down towards the end of the day, and really you can tell that you've been wearing foundation for a little too long. This one doesn't seem to be the case just yet. Maybe I need to test it out for a longer period of time, but so far I'm really, really happy with the way it's looking. It kind of just looks like one of those foundations that's just going to be my like old reliable, you know, like the foundation you can go to again and again and it looks really, really good every time you go for it. So I'm really, really happy with it. Kind of seems to be like a perfect medium in every aspect. So it seems like a medium in terms of coverage, also seems like a medium in terms of dewiness versus matte. It just falls right in the middle. It's not matte and it's not dewy, which is really what I like, and which is what I found is like most often the type of foundations I will reach for on an everyday basis. So I think this is looking great. It definitely has my seal of approval for sure. I'm gonna give you one little close-up. So I do have a little bit more texture than usual on my cheeks right now. Just kind of having a little bit of a breakout. I don't have breakouts often, but you can definitely see I have a couple of little problem spots, and from a reasonable distance you really can't tell. Definitely doesn't accentuate it like some glowy foundations would, and it definitely doesn't dry it out like some matte foundations would. So I think overall this is a really, really great foundation. Is it worth $42 though? That's kind of like the hard thing for me to judge at this point because it is a fairly pricey foundation. But I don't know, I'm really, really happy with it. I think that in certain cases, if you don't have your go-to foundation built in yet, I think this could be a really good candidate for the go-to foundation. I know it's going to be a new favorite of mine already. Just to kind of sum up all of my thoughts, I think this is a perfect foundation for medium coverage and for a natural looking finish. I truly can't believe how flawless my skin still looks after several hours later of just going throughout my day, and it just looks like I just put it on. That's pretty incredible, and I feel like that's something that I don't see very often. So for me, someone who does like a solid medium coverage and who also likes a natural finish, this is really just exactly what it says it is. If that's something that you really like as well, I think you'll really get along well with this foundation. And I think it has a pretty great shade range as far as selection goes. I think this is the perfect match I could have asked for. A light olive tone is usually pretty hard to come across, and I think they really nailed it for me. So I really like this foundation. I'm obsessed with it, honestly. Let me know down below if you've tried this foundation. I would love to hear your thoughts and see how it worked for you. Be sure to leave down below your skin tone and then also your skin texture. I think that would be really helpful in the comments for other people to see, and see who it's working out for. For me, I usually have a normal to dry skin tone. I'm not oily or anything, so I could be having a different experience as someone who has really dry skin or someone who has really oily skin. Could be really different. Great, thanks for watching. Turn on the notification bell for future videos like this one. Let me know down below what you'd like to see from me next. And like the video if you like the video. I'll see you sometime next week. Bye. It's not actually, I lied. Can you hear her? Because that's really loud. Can you even see this? This is it. I'm doing it finally.